How's it going, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. We got a good episode for you today. We are talking about before the build, site prep, access, and forming explained, you guys. These are three things that we have seen get in the way in a lot of builds and prolong the process for a lot of people. So our goal today is to help prevent those issues and create a game plan moving forward when you build your mallet building. So thanks for tuning in. As always, let's hop into it and get into the basics, and then we'll get to the topic for today. So stay tuned, pop some popcorn, grab a drink, and kick back. It's gonna be a good one, you guys. Now, where is Mallet this week? We have been incredibly busy trying to get as much done before this incredibly cold weather we have coming. I don't know about you guys, but this is not for me. I'm here for the hot part of the South, not the cold, but Mallet is everywhere in the South. Let me go ahead and show you. We are all the way from almost in Waco, Texas, up to Vicksburg, Mississippi, and down to almost Slidell, New Orleans area, all over in 79 different locations. That's just starting off the week. There are obviously more happening this time of the week, but we have materials on the ground ready to be built. We have finishers and red tags, projects in construction, concrete and concrete to be scheduled, sand and forming is happening as well, for a total of starting out at 79 jobs this week. As Mr. Trent says, there's always more, but this is where we started out. Now, Louisiana has 55 of those jobs. We're very excited about that. Again, in construction on the ground, forms, sand, concrete. This includes waiting on concrete as well, and finishers, red tags. That includes everything from the finishing touches like the doors and things like that, and red tags where we go and fix any mistakes no matter how big or small. We're very happy about that. Now, going to Texas, we have 21 jobs. Again, we're in Magnolia, Conroe, Sweeney, Shepherd, Vidor, Orange, just to name a few. And we're in all different forms of the process. Very proud of this. Love this map, man. This has been so much fun, these different colors. I love color coding things. I know that's a weird thing to enjoy, but this makes the OCD designer in me very happy. Hopefully it explains a little bit more about the depth of the logistics here at Mallet to you. I know it has to me. Now, you've seen where's Mallet. Let's talk about why Mallet, you guys. I know we do this every day, but it's so important to understand what is a Mallet building. We say we have the best building in the country, which we do, but why? Why do we think that? Why do we say that? Let me go ahead and tell you. First and foremost, let's talk about what is not a Mallet building. Now, it is offered by Mallet. This is the Rival series. It's not a Mallet building, but it's Mallet built. And let me explain what that means. As you'll see here, if you've been here for any amount of time, these features do not sound like a normal Mallet building, which we'll get to here in a moment with the Classic. What these features are is what I like to call industry standard, or what the competitors are building. This is what we've seen on all the different quote sheets, price sheets, things that customers bring in and say, hey, can you explain this more to me and then tell me what you guys do? Because believe it or not, a lot of people do that. It's called shopping around and finding the best price, the best quote, and the best builder. This hopefully will help make that decision, and I want to make sure you're educated. So what most people that we see are doing in the industry is going to be 29 gauge metal. That's all fine, but what it's not is 26 gauge metal, but we'll get more to that in a moment. They're gonna have a 4-on-12 roof pitch. They're gonna have 2x6 trusses, often common flat trusses, so you're missing out on a lot of headroom there like you would get with a cathedral truss. These trusses are also not inspected, and we had some comments on a clip from one of the lives the other day with Mr. Trent where he's talking about these trusses and how a lot of times these trusses are not third-party inspected. What that means is they don't have, what's the way to say this? They're not partnered with these third-party companies to have them come out and verify what they do. Yes, there's a lot of inspections that happen within the truss making process, and the people that most of our competitors are buying trusses from are checking and inspecting those trusses that way, but the trusses themselves are verified. They're not verified within the build. So once the trusses are sent, they're already said, hey, these trusses are fine. Okay, cool, but are they fine for your build? That's a part of what we do here at Mallet as well for our third-party inspections. They check the whole scope of things, seeing as we not only build our own trusses, we handle the process throughout everything from start to finish. That being said, the Rival Series is also going to be 130 to 135 mile an hour building depending on the building, and that's going to be for the building itself. It's not going to have the mallet cable lock system. As you can see, no uplift control, and I'll talk more about that here soon if you haven't heard about that yet. The posts are often going to go in the dirt or gravel or whatever aggregate is there. Here at Mallet, we offer a post pad underneath every post, and that's going to be a concrete pad that just goes under the 6x6 post to make sure it prevents sinking and unwanted settling, as well as unwanted deterioration just from being on the ground. Again, more on that in a moment. They're going to have 2x8 headers. Not bad. It's not the best though. 3,000 PSI concrete, no ground protection, a limited warranty, if any, you guys. A lot of these companies are not even a year, 2 years old, so it's really hard to offer warranties when you haven't been around long enough to do so. A lot of the warranties where they start out at are longer than the company has been in business, which everyone has to start somewhere, I understand, and you should be expecting to stay in business and stand behind your work. These are all things we know, but just something to consider. However, this is on the Rival Series here at Mallet. We're gonna have a limited warranty on that. You're also gonna have number 2 untreated generic lumber, you guys. Why is that important? Well, unlike pencils, where number 2 is king, in lumber, number 1 is the superior lumber. Number 2 is gonna be, I think Mr. Trent said about 31% less strong than number 1 lumber, and that 30%, that's almost a third. That's a big difference in strength, you guys. So when it comes to things like, say, a barndominium or a place that your family's gonna be hanging out, that strength matters, especially here in the Gulf Coast, because we have hurricane season. We're experiencing phenomenally strange winter right now in January. We're almost in February. We have an ice storm coming. Stay safe out there, you guys. Make sure you stay warm, bundled up when possible, and be sure to check the news and just be off the roads and stay safe. That's my disclaimer. We want everybody to be careful out there. But that is the Rival Series. I always say, this is a good building. Why is it a good building? Like I said, it's not a Mallet building, but it's Mallet built. So you have the best builders in the country, the best name in post frame, building the Rival Series building, but what you don't have is what I'm about to show you here on the Classic. The Mallet Classic is our entry-level building, and as you're about to see, it far surpasses the industry standard and what most other people are doing. Now, that being said, like I mentioned earlier, we have 26 gauge metal. That's going to be standard across all of our buildings. 26 gauge metal is thicker, stronger, and more durable than 29 gauge metal, meaning you're going to have, in the event like we're having now with ice and hail, it's going to be a lot more durable. It's going to last a lot longer. It's going to be thicker, stronger, longer lasting. Overall, better choice for your building. We're also going to have a 512 roof pitch. Again, that's going to help prevent denting and damage because that pitch is going to be that much higher. You're going to have an extra foot for every 12 inches. That is going to be a steeper pitch, allowing for better runoff of debris and water, helping prevent issues later down the road, such as leaking and damages. You're also going to have 2x8 scissor trusses as opposed to 2x6, and our trusses are all cathedral trusses unless you want common flat trusses, which we can handle as well. It's probably going to be an upcharge, but we have cathedral trusses standard across all buildings, and our 2x8 trusses are 2x8 truly all the way through. There's no 2x4 or 2x6 inner webbing. It is truly a 2x8 all the way through the truss. And our trusses, as I mentioned, are third-party inspected. More on that if you want to check out our YouTube channel. We have a phenomenal interview with the inspector himself. We caught him while he was here one day. Got all the information from him. It is a wonderful informational video. I highly recommend checking that out. And that can go into a little bit more depth on what he looks for and why that job is important. So we're also going to have a 170 mile an hour wind rating on our roof system. Now, that is phenomenal. These 2x8 scissor trusses, the 2x12 headers, all these things and more work together to create a 170 mile an hour wind rating on the roof system. The building system, however, has been upgraded, and those wind ratings will be released here soon. Like I said, Mr. Trent will be here tomorrow to give all the information and updates that we're looking for, and I'm excited for that because it's going to be news to me as well. Mallet cable lock system. Guys, if you're new here, let me tell you what that is very briefly. The cable lock system is going to be a series of 1/8 inch aircraft cables that is connected at the base of every 6x6 post. into a massive eyelet screw that is put into the bottom of the post as well. And it's going to connect every post around the entire building, post to post in all directions. And on top of that, you're going to have this 4,000 PSI concrete. If it's on a Classic or a Signature, it's going to be a 4-inch. If it's on an Elite, you're going to have a 6-inch. You're more than welcome to get the 6-inch upgrade for the Classic or Signature. Just let your building specialist know. But what the cable lock system does is the weight of that concrete slab pushes down on those cables and helps prevent what we call uplift. What is uplift and how does it happen? Uplift is, say, in a high wind scenario like a hurricane, when the door, window, roll-up door, anything like that, you have a malfunction, it breaks, the wind barrels in, the wind's got to have somewhere to go, so it's going to be pushing upward. It's going to want to push up on this building, and in most cases, with post frame construction, as we know, the weight of the building is not on the concrete. Post frame has no weight on the concrete, it's all on the posts. So that means the entire integrity of your building, is featured on the post. The mallet cable lock system helps with that because, again, as I mentioned, that concrete is going to be sitting on top of those cables that are attached to the post. So if you have no uplift control, when that wind barrels up, it's going to pull up on that building like a parachute. And if you're like me with my old shop in Grand Lake, it's going to be taken away by the storm. But if you have the mallet cable lock system, that wind is going to have a hard time, hard enough, I say. We have actually never lost a building to a hurricane that has the mallet cable lock system. We're incredibly proud about that, you guys. So it is a phenomenal system. It's engineered to near perfection because there's always room for improvement, and we're always looking to find that here at Mallet. But the mallet cable lock system is a building saver and an engineering masterpiece, I have to say. As I mentioned, we have concrete under every post, and we're going to have 2x12 headers as well. That concrete's 4,000 PSI. If you have an Elite or you choose to upgrade, like I said, it's a 6-inch concrete slab, as well as microfiber reinforcement and optional control joints. But this is the Classic, so it's going to have a 4-inch, 4,000 PSI slab. You're also going to have skirt board guards for ground protection. You're going to have a 4-year workmanship warranty starting out. So when you have a mallet building, you start out with a 4-year workmanship warranty, a 6-year on the Signature, and a 10-year workmanship warranty on our Elite buildings. You're also going to have every piece of lumber that is used is going to be #1 MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber. That's a lot of words. Let me tell you what that means. You're going to have #1 lumber. As I said, that's approximately 30–31% stronger than #2 lumber, as most people use. And all of our lumber is going to be not only ground treated, but it's going to be kiln dried as well. What is kiln drying doing? It takes all the excess moisture out of the wood and helps prevent warping and cracking and prolongs the longevity of your building and your wood as well. The ground treatment is also going to be helpful for helping prevent decay in the ground, as well as wood destroying insects like beetles and termites. That's just going to deter them. They can still climb, but they're not going to be able to do anything with the wood. This is a wonderful treatment. Also, we have our in-house engineers. You meet Mr. Darrell every Monday. He and his team work tirelessly. They work hard to make sure every building is held to not only the industry standards and legal standards, but the mallet standards, because as you can see with our Classic, we go above and beyond in every way possible. So that is the Mallet Classic. That is an entry-level mallet building, you guys. There's 2 tiers above that, but you can see it already far surpasses the rival series. And how cool is that, you guys? So this is why Mallet. Now you know why, and you know where. So when you're ready to buy, if you fall into one of these, what I call hero categories, whether it be a healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, teacher, or educator, you automatically, without question, get $500 off your mallet building. Can't pass that up, you guys. Take advantage of that opportunity. I'm not sure of anyone else who's offering that. Now, speaking of money off, if you comment cash on a video like this, the Magical Mardi Gras Tiger will give you $1,000 off your Elite or Signature building just for commenting 4 letters, C-A-S-H, cash, on a video just like this or any other video you may find of ours. Comment cash, you get $1,000 off. Now, as much as I want you to comment on every video, you only get $1,000 off on that per building. So if you want another $1,000 off, you gotta buy another mallet building. But that being said, this Tiger Cash does not apply to specials or promotional prices. I just wanna let you know. That being said, let's hop in to the specials. For January, we have some awesome promotions going on. As you see, there's 3 different eave heights here. There is 3 different prices and 3 different building sizes. Let's explain why. For that, we're gonna hop over here. As you see, our limited time offer, January only, come February 1st, it is gone. You can pick your eave height, plus we're gonna throw in a 10-foot gable extension for free. Don't worry about it. This is up to a $17,000 value with the eave height and gable extension for free. Nothing else you have to pay. It's already in the price. Everything is there. And speaking of price, let's talk about that. 30 by 50, 40 by 50, 40 by 60. The reason I don't say the last number, again, is because you can pick your eave height up to 16 feet, you guys. So if you want a 30 by 50 by 12, 30 by 50 by 14, 30 by 50 by 16, or swap any of these out, you can get that. Now, 30 by 50 by 12, starting at $43,998, all the way up to a 40 by 60 by 16 for $62,598, you guys, and a 40 by 50 by 14 right there in the middle at $53,958, you guys. Wonderful prices, but what makes this even better, I hinted at some of these specs earlier. This is an elite building, so you are getting the best building in post-frame construction, and you get to pick your eave height, and you get a 10-foot gable extension, as well as this number has changed as well. It's gotten even higher, but let's say 150 mile an hour wind rated building. You get that 6-inch, 4,000 PSI microfiber reinforced concrete slab we talked about, plus control joints if you choose so. You also get the concrete pads, as we said. You get post protectors. You get 5-on-12 trusses. Every building is engineered. You get 2 3x5 windows. You get gutters. You get a 10-year workmanship warranty. You get so much freaking stuff on this building, you guys. It's so exciting. So be sure you check that out, you guys. This only is good through January. Give us a call at 337-214-0428, or if you see our post on Facebook, go ahead and interact with us. Send us a message, comment, do whatever you can to get here before February, because these sales end then, I promise. The next month's sales are pretty cool, but they're not this. This is so much happening in one offer, you guys. Don't miss out. Now, speaking of so much happening, the Cajun Oasis is still here. It's back. We were gonna take it away after the end of the year, but it did so well. And so many people kept calling. And now this is the building we hear the most about. I'll check the sales board every morning, and most of them are Cajun Oasises. I actually had a phone call with someone yesterday about the Cajun Oasis. They're super excited about it, guys, and so am I, and I'm gonna tell you why. A 30 by 50 by 12, this is the Cajun Oasis Classic. So that Mallet Classic building we talked about, our entry-level building that's leaps and bounds greater than a regular or industry standard building for $49,999. Now what's included? Insulation all the way through. An electrical package, so you're gonna have power the moment we're done. Everything's gonna be taken care of. We set it up, you hook the power up, turn it on, we're good to go. You're also gonna have a climate control package that features a 5-ton wall-mounted unit, as you can see pictured here. This comes with heating and cooling elements, so no matter what the weather, as we know here in the South, it's every season in one day, so this building can keep up with that and more. Now, aside from looking beautiful, that is a $16,000 value with your electrical package and insulation and all of that. You can also ask about spray foam if that's something that interests you, but you guys, we don't know how much longer this is going to be here. We just keep it around because everyone keeps asking, but eventually we're going to swap this out for something different. So don't miss out, Cajun Oasis Classic. Now, I know what you're thinking. You just gave me all these amazing specs on an elite building, and now you're showing me another classic. I want an elite building, but this Cajun Oasis sounds really cool. Well, you're in luck. We have a Cajun Oasis Elite now. What does that mean? All the cool specs you just saw, $16,000 in value, spray foam if you want it, insulation, climate control, 5-ton unit with electrical package, 30 by 50 by 12 for $59,999, you guys. All those upgrades, the wainscot, the doors, the window, the roll-ups, the roof pitch, everything, you guys, all the great elite features. If you want a full list, comment elite and we will get you a comparison chart for every building we have, you guys. All the specs, everything you need sent right to you so you can see a full comparison. But an elite, beautiful elite building, you got the gutters, you got the wainscot if you want, you have the post protectors thing, bigger slabs, stronger, everything, you guys. Elite is amazing. It makes me so excited. But for $59,999, a $10,000 difference from the Classic, this can be yours. Just in time for the next sports season, you guys. It's ready. Don't miss out. Cajun Oasis is here. Now, moving right along, the 5 red flags. This is one of our favorite sections because I feel this is where we get to educate the most. This is where we help you decide when you're building or choosing your builder what to look for. This is something really fun. Education is great. Let's keep moving along. Number 1, years in business. You can check that at the Secretary of State website. First and foremost, be sure they're actually registered as a business, because that's a big uh-oh if they're trying to do business and being shady and don't have a business license. Secondly, check how long they've been in business. We mentioned the warranties. We mentioned all of this. If their warranties are longer than they've been in business, that could be a red flag. I know everyone's got to start somewhere, and that's okay. Mallet started somewhere 27 years ago. We've been in business almost 30 years, so we can definitely back up our warranty on that. But just keep this in mind. Check that out at the Secretary of State website. Make sure they're an actual business. Now, speaking of licenses and all of that, we want to make sure we check with the LSLBC, the Louisiana State Licensing Board of Contractors, and be sure they have the right contractor's license. They need to have, if you're doing a personal building, they need to have a residential license. You're going to have a commercial license if you're doing commercial work, industrial if you're doing industrial, and so forth, so forth. Make sure they have the right licenses. But I think this is slightly, not more important, but equally important. While you're there at the LSLBC, check out any contractor violations. First and foremost, if you're finding out violations because you had to check it out and they didn't tell you, that's definitely a red flag, because why are they hiding that from you? We all make mistakes, but I think the biggest mistake is not owning up to those mistakes. And I think if they're going to break the law once and they don't tell you about it, chances are they're going to break it again. And do you want to really be a test subject on that to see if they can do it right this time? That's your decision. This is simply to help educate you. But here at Mallet, in our 27 years, we have 0 contractor violations, and we're very proud of that. Now, reviews on the BBB and Google, because I can stand here all day and tell you all the great things about us, but what I feel is much more powerful and important is the public's opinion. Between the BBB and Google and the Better Business Bureau, we have an A+ rating. We're very proud of that as well. But between these two sites, we have over almost 700 reviews, you guys. That's so many. And I dare say majority, 99% of them are raving, phenomenal reviews. Real people telling real stories about their experience here at Mallet and their building, and it's just so much fun to read. We have about I think a 4.8, 4.9 out of 5-star rating average between the two sites, and I am very proud of that because that's hard to earn, you guys. Most people don't have any reviews, and the ones they do aren't the best. So we are very proud of this, and we will continue to keep providing service that earns us these reviews. Very proud about that. And finally, red flag number 5, visit the contractor's facility. Come and visit. We have the roll form plant, the truss plant, the packing plant, the shipping plant. We have the gutter operation. We have everything that happens in your building starts here, you guys. It's so cool to see it all in one place. But most importantly, we have everybody involved, from the building specialist to scheduling to the people pouring the concrete. They're all here. And that's something not a lot of people can say. We have a lot of these boutique shops popping up, these people who are post-frame experts. I'd use the air quotes very heavily, but we have a true facility here, and most importantly, we have a true staff here. We have people ready. Like I mentioned earlier, the logistics behind everything we do is so intense and crazy. It's just amazing that we actually get it done, but we continue to do it every day, and we have for almost 30 years. So come check it out. Come check us out. We'd love to meet you. No appointment needed. Just show up, and we'll make sure you're taken care of, and greet it with a handshake and a smile. And we've had a lot of donuts lately, so if you like donuts, you may be able to come check us out and have a donut with us. So just a little perk for stopping in. Now, for what you've all been waiting for, because I know you don't just want to hear me talk about me, you want to hear us talk about the information that pertains to you. So before you build, site prep, access, and forming explained, you guys, this is where most people have had issues, and we want to help prevent those. So why site prep matters more than people realize. Poor site prep can delay delivery, framing, or concrete in a nutshell, delay your entire build process. Engineers design for real world conditions, not assumptions. We want to make sure the site is ready. We want to make sure we can get delivery, framing, concrete, every part of the process done on time. We don't just want to assume it can happen. This is where planning is so important. Fixing site issues after materials arrive is more expensive and time consuming than doing it beforehand. I always recommend for any step of the process, whoever it involves, call who is involved and make sure you understand fully what is expected of you and what is expected of your builder, the permit department, whoever you're working with at that time. I believe conversations create the best environment for a good workflow, and a good workflow means jobs get done quicker and as affordable as possible. So good site prep protects your timeline and your investment. How important is that? Very important, you guys. We want to make sure everything is protected from start to finish and for years to come. This is the way we can do that. Now, what does accessible site really mean? An accessible site is one we can safely and efficiently build on, and that includes the following. Clear access roads that are wide enough for delivery trucks. Guys, we got to make sure, and you have to understand, we deliver a lot of materials, and that takes some big trucks. There's machines, there's equipment, there's all the materials, the wood, the trusses that are built here, the metal, every part of the process is delivered on these trucks. So we have to make sure the trucks can access your site. That includes making sure the ground is firm, it can handle heavy equipment. There's no overhead obstacles like trees or power lines. There's room to stage materials around the building footprint. Not only do we need the site itself where the building is going to be clear, we need the area around it to be clear enough to stage equipment, stage materials, and make sure the crew has an effective area to do business and to make that building come alive. If we can't safely access the site, the job can't move forward, guys. Not only are you, the customer, very important to us, the safety of our crews and you and your property and everyone involved is incredibly important to us as well. We can't have trucks getting stuck because the ground's not ready. We can't have trucks going in a ditch because the road's this big. There's just some accommodations that have to happen to make sure we can safely and effectively access your site, making sure trees are trimmed, the power lines are not in the way of the access road, making sure there's nothing obstructing the way of the materials and the trucks. This is all things we can do to make sure the process is that much smoother and make sure, again, your investment is protected from the start to forever. Forming, what happens before the concrete? Because before the concrete is ever poured, there's some steps we have to take. Final building layout and elevations are confirmed. Once we pour the concrete, that's it. There's a concrete slab there, you guys. Of course, we're going to be confirming the layout and elevations and all that throughout the whole process before we even start building, but it's going to happen once again before the concrete's poured because that makes it that much more permanent. The forms are set to the engineered dimensions. This is very important. Vapor barriers, cables, and rebars are installed. This is where the mallet cable lock system happens. So you see this vapor barrier. Let me explain the sandwich that is this process to you. We have the ground. Graded, fill sand is added, everything is taken care of, making sure it's level, perfect, good to go. We then have a vapor barrier. This is going to help for moisture control and make sure there's no excess moisture underneath. On top of the vapor barrier is going to be that mallet cable lock system we talked about. And on top of that, we don't actually use rebar. I'm not sure why that is in there. We use the microfiber reinforcement, as I said. Rebar falls to the ground, rebar, metal is not as effective as microfiber. It is usually going to sink to the bottom. Microfiber fills throughout the concrete, making it more effective and more stronger throughout the entirety of the concrete. Any required inspections must be scheduled by the contractor on record, which is typically the building owner, unless you want us to be the contractor on record. That's going to cost you about 15 to 20% more on the project, but trust me, it's going to save you a lot of headache and time. We know the permits, we know the areas, we know what to do, but if you choose to do that yourself, we're more than happy to assist you on the way there. But Any required inspections must be scheduled, and that will fall on you, the homeowner, building owner, wherever the property is going. This stage locks in how your building will sit forever. This is the forming and the pre-concrete phase. During the process of forming, we have the following. Precision matters. Elevations square and door openings. We want to make sure everything is properly aligned, which it will be at this point, but this is just again where we double check to make sure we have our T's crossed and our I's dotted. Weather can affect timing and conditions as we're seeing right now, you guys. Weather can change everything. There's no way we can safely and effectively put up a building or be on a roof or deliver materials when it's storming, icing, raining, hailing, sleeting, all the crazy stuff that's happening here right now. There's no way we can do that or be effective in these conditions. This will prolong and delay the build, but again, we cannot control Mother Nature. We can only work around her. If plumbing is required, a licensed plumber must complete and pass inspection before the pour. Guys, we need to know first off beforehand, before the project ever starts, that you're going to be adding plumbing. If you choose to add plumbing at this point, that's going to change a whole lot and truly affect the cost of your building because they're going to have to change everything, likely be re-permitted because this affects what the building is classified as once plumbing is added. Be sure you talk to your building specialist during the design process and make sure they know I'm putting a bathroom. We've talked to Mr. Darrell, Mr. Trent, everyone about people who last minute think they can pull a fast one and save a few dollars and be like, oh, we're almost done. I think I want to put a bathroom in there. Well, that reclassifies the entire building. You have to be sure you're upfront with not only us, but the permit office about the intended use for your building because they can shut the whole project down if you are not. Any plumbing work must be returned to proper grade and conditions before the concrete. So we're gonna have the plumbers come in. They're gonna be putting all the piping, all the plumbing in, making sure everything is there. They must return the property to the grade that we had it before the plumbing was done. That way we can effectively do the work and pour the concrete. Now, the big picture. Site prep sets the foundation for everything. Access determines whether we can build efficiently or if we're going to have to do a lot to work around the inefficiencies of the area. Forming is where precision matters most, guys. This is going to make sure your concrete is perfectly straight, level, everything here, you guys. It's such an important precision area. The contractors who are out there doing this work are phenomenal. We have videos. If you want to see a complete concrete pour, check out our YouTube channel. We recently uploaded a video demonstrating the entire process, forming and finish of a concrete pour. It's super interesting, you guys. They get there really early. I don't know if you know this, but concrete needs to be poured when it's not blazing hot and sunny outside, which typically means when it's dark. So, little fun tip there. Now, most problems we see can later be traced back to these early stages. Getting them right up front saves time, money, and frustration. And I don't know who doesn't want to save time, money, and frustration, but that sounds good to me. Now, that has been before you build. If you are someone who is in the process of buying a mallet building or you already have, first off, thank you very much for trusting us as your builder and being the people to put up your building, whatever you're using it for, whether it be a barn-dominium, a shop, just a storage unit, whatever. We appreciate it, and we thank you very much. And we have the Mallet Ambassador Club here. We've also launched our Mallet Elite Ambassador Referral Program, which you'll hear more about shortly, but that is essentially going to be a way for you to earn more money. Now, the Ambassador Club is for those who have a mallet building. That's the basic level of entry there. Now, once you have that building and you want to share it, tell your story, talk about it, even show it off, there's different levels of access to do that. Just please comment Ambassador and we will give you all the information, send you anything you need, and help you get on your way to earn a little extra money. But that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time and attention. This has been the Mallet live stream for Wednesday. I hope you have learned something. If so, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the page, turn on that notification bell. We go live every day, Monday through Thursday at 4 o'clock. We're super happy you're here. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, and stay warm out there.